There is a certain type of person who doesn't hate people. They are polite, they can communicate, they can socialize when needed. But if given the choice, they would rather stay home. Not because they are lazy, not because they are antisocial, not because they are afraid of the world, but because, at home, they can finally breathe. If this sounds like you, this video is not here to change you. It's here to explain something important. You are not broken. You simply operate differently from most people. You might recognize yourself in this. You go out for an evening. People are laughing. The atmosphere looks enjoyable. But inside your mind, something else is happening. You notice subtle facial expressions, shifts in tone, unspoken tension, emotional undercurrents. You're not just present, you're processing everything. And after a few hours, you feel exhausted. Not physically tired, but mentally drained. When you finally return home, close the door, sit in silence, that's when you feel like yourself again. And then the question appears, why am I like this? Why do others enjoy going out so much more than I do? That question exists because society quietly tells us being outgoing is better. But psychology tells a different story. People who prefer staying home often share one key trait. Their brains process information more deeply than average. When you enter a social environment, your mind doesn't simply listen. It analyzes, it compares, it predicts, it reacts. You can't turn this process off. For others, socializing feels energizing. For you, it's mental labor. This is why staying home isn't avoidance, it's recovery. Silence allows your mind to organize thoughts, regulate emotions, return to balance. At home, you don't need to perform. You don't need to respond. You don't need to appear okay. You are finally allowed to simply exist. Many people misunderstand this. They assume preferring home means fearing loneliness. In reality, it's often the opposite. People who enjoy staying home aren't afraid of being alone, don't need constant company, don't see silence as uncomfortable. What feels uncomfortable to them is talking without meaning, laughing without sincerity, being surrounded without connection. They don't dislike people, they dislike prolonged superficiality. For them, a 30-minute deep conversation is far more fulfilling than hours of surface-level interaction. Staying home gives them space to think, reflect, create, have honest conversations with themselves. This isn't isolation. It's selective presence. Here's something rarely acknowledged. Not everyone gains energy from crowds. Some people feel more drained the louder it gets, the busier it becomes, the more stimulation there is. If you're someone who prefers staying home, your nervous system may be more sensitive to noise, movement, emotional shifts in others. You absorb more than necessary. That's why you need solitude, personal space, quiet environments. This isn't weakness. It's neurological wiring. You don't need to fix it. You need to understand and respect it. Society often celebrates those who speak the loudest, appear the most, stay socially active, but many deeply thoughtful, creative, and self-aware individuals are people who prefer staying home. They don't measure their worth by visibility. They build value through observation, reflection, depth, quietly. Not everyone is meant to blend into the crowd. Some people are meant to understand it from a distance. If you've ever forced yourself to socialize beyond exhaustion, fit into spaces that drained, you feel guilty for being different. Pause for a moment. The issue isn't staying home versus going out. The issue is living in alignment with how your mind actually works. There is no wrong way to exist, only ways of living that don't belong to you. If staying home brings you peace, clarity, and a sense of grounding, That isn't a flaw. It's how you survive and grow in this world. If this video spoke to you, leave a comment. You don't need to explain. Just write, "I understand." If you're someone who thinks deeply, this channel is for you. Don't forget to subscribe.